you ready to start? Okay, lights. I get a little emotional too when I watch this, but I've seen it about 1,000,000 times. So, my husband left on February 14th of this year. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, right? 10 days later, I found out that I'm pregnant with our first child. And his year-long deployment means that he will miss the first 4 months of his daughter's life. So, while deployment of any length is sufferable, the Army currently has the longest average deployment length at 12 months. The other branches have considerably shorter deployments. According to military.com, the Air Force averages 4 months. The Navy and the Marines average 6 to 7 months. As the wife and daughter of Army soldiers, I'm here to tell you that the Army should shorten its deployments from 12 months to 6 to 9 months and lengthen dwell time to at least 2 years. As I mentioned, the Army has the longest deployments. The Army also has a reputation for minuscule dwell time. Many soldiers would have just barely returned from theater, only to begin training to leave once again. Minimal time between deployment prevents soldiers from recuperating from the previous mission, and so soldiers are often not mentally prepared to go again. Susan Hannibal, a holistic trauma therapist with 12 years of experience, equates this to keeping your gun clean. She says, you wouldn't go out on a mission, come back, not clean your weapon, and then go out again, would you? She says it's the same with deployment trauma. If you return to deployment and you're not prepared, it's like going into battle with 50 pounds of extra gear on. It's going to slow you down. Evidence that the Army is overstressing its soldiers is found in the record high suicide rates. Those of June this year were equal to 1 per day, according to USA Today. Some say that absence makes the heart grow fonder, but what happens when families spend too much time apart? Not only is there an effect on the soldier's ability to do their duty, but not enough dwell time affects family relationships as well. One article found on military.com states that one of the 2 major factors contributing to the high military divorce rate is multiple long-term deployments. Many of you probably know somebody that is deployed or has been deployed, Some of you may even have been deployed yourselves. You would probably agree with me that 12 months is just too long. An article from governmentexecutive.com tells how in 2008, the Surgeon Generals of the Army, Air Force, and the Navy told senators that the optimal tour in Iraq and Afghanistan to reduce combat stress was 6 to 9 months. Additionally, in a recent article from the Army Times, General George Casey said between 9 and 12 months is where a lot of the stress problems really manifest themselves, where a lot of the family problems really manifest themselves. So to me, the solution seems obvious. Keep deployment shorter than 9 months. Furthermore, soldiers need more time between deployments to recuperate. In the same article from the Army Times, General George Casey goes on to say, the human mind and body wasn't made to do repeat combat deployments without substantial time to recover. Their most recent mental health assessment team study shows that it takes 24 to 36 months to recover from a 1-year combat deployment. Susan Hannibal emphasizes that it isn't just time, but that adequate treatment is also necessary. Again, the solution seems pretty obvious. Give soldiers a minimum of 2 years dwell time between deployments and with ample access to treatment. As for most things with the military, they have to try a million things that don't work before they find something that actually works. Well, we've seen the Army do 12-month deployments, even 15-month deployments, sometimes with mere months between them. Now imagine this for me. Soldiers deploying for 9 months at a time in conjunction with a dwell time of at least 2 years between deployments. They would incur less stress, they would incur less trauma, and they would have more time to heal the trauma that they have sustained. This would result in a more effective fighting force overall. I understand that we have a job to do. I just think there's a better way to do it. Something needs to be done. I recommend that we each write a letter to our representatives demanding a change. The current operation of the Army is detrimental to itself. Instead, they should balance the use of its soldiers to shorten deployments and lengthen dwell time. Thank you for your time and attention.